What is up guys, Tech James here. In this video I'm going to be building a fully custom PlayStation 3 controller from spare parts. So I've got a few broken controllers, I've got broken PS1 controllers, broken PS2 controllers, and this is my PS3 controller which is also broken and missing parts. Now the good thing about this controller is everything that I've got here actually works, I'm just missing parts for it, so I'm going to have to add parts to it in order to build it. So I've just got the basic housing for the PS3 controller. Obviously I've got the main motherboard which has the buttons on and stuff like that. I've got the battery, I've got a Phillips head screwdriver. This is pretty much all you need for PlayStation controllers. And then I've also got a tin right here, and this is full of like buttons and random stuff from PS1, PS2 and other random controllers that I'm going to use on this, and hopefully we can get a fully working controller. So the condition of the housing is okay, it's reasonable, and I just thought if I can build a controller out of these scrap parts, then I might as well do it, because then I've got another controller that I can go ahead and use. So I pretty much got these parts from random things. I've got some metal with buttons here, I've got some PS2 controller analog sticks, I've got some PS2 controller like random stuff in here. Basically we're going to be adding this to this controller, and we're going to see, can we build a controller using random parts from other controllers, and who knows, this might actually look quite good. So let's start off with the buttons. I've got a set of 4 buttons here, and these buttons are actually solid metal. Now I can't remember where I got these from. I'm pretty sure these will work on a PS3 controller. Obviously we're about to find out. So obviously I've got cross, circle, square and triangle, and what we're going to do is fit them into the housing just to start off with. So let's get the triangle button, and obviously that goes at the top where triangle goes. Then we've got the square button, which obviously goes in here, and when you're putting the buttons in, all you kind of do is just spin them around until they actually manage to fit in the housing, just like that. Then I've got the cross or X, whatever you prefer calling it, so let's just try and fit this one in. And then last of all I've got the circle button, so let's just get all these buttons in. And then once you've pretty much got all of the buttons in, all you need to do is put the kind of like rubber piece over them. So I've actually got one from a PlayStation 2, but it will actually work on the PS3 controllers, and it's just like a rubber kind of, you know, membrane, and this pretty much just holds the buttons in place. So this just goes on just like that. Now let's sort out the middle. All I need is a PS Home button. I've got this one, and this one is a PS3 one, so that's perfect, matches the controller fine. Obviously that's going to work if it's a PS3 controller. Just put that in there. Now we need start and select. I've got a green start and select button. I don't know where I got this from, but we're going to use this because that should work completely fine. So we're just going to fit that into the case. So now I need to add in the D-pad. Now I did actually have a couple of D-pads. I think I had this one. I've also got a 3D printed white one somewhere, but I don't know where that's gone. So I'm just going to be using this one for now, and we're going to fit this in. This one is actually from a PlayStation 2 controller, but hopefully it should work. Then we've just got to add the kind of like tripod piece of plastic. I don't really know what you'd call that, but it kind of just fits over the buttons like that. Then we've got another one of these pieces of rubber. This is a green one from a PlayStation 2 controller, and the PlayStation 2 controller I had is completely faulty. I tried to fix it, but it's just completely dead. None of the buttons actually work on it. It could be even water damage. So there you go, that's pretty much the front of the controller setup. I would turn it around and show you guys, but I think stuff might start to fall out, but there you go, that's pretty much what it's looking like. So it's looking quite unique so far. Now we've got to add in the LED bar, and the LED bar just sits up at the top. So I've actually got one right here. This is pretty much just tells you what player you are on your controller, and obviously it flashes red. This just plugs in up here. So there you go, just like that. And how this works is the kind of like LED lights from the motherboard will just pretty much shine in, and they will shine through, and you can see that it's correct because they're actually going into the plastic. Okay, so there is the kind of like entire front of the case. We've also got some shoulder buttons to add in. I think I'm probably going to add these in later. Of course we've got these plastic clips as well. These kind of hold the shoulder buttons in. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to put on the joysticks. So here is my controller motherboard. Now, I didn't take these off. These are actually put on nicely. You know, they're put on correct, so they're not wobbly. I'll put a picture on screen right now, so if you guys are not sure how to put these in with the metal spring, there will be an easy to follow diagram. But the metal spring kind of just sits under them, and they kind of just hook over these small pieces of plastic, just like that. I don't know if you guys can quite see that, but the spring, the diagram is very easy to follow, but yeah, the spring just kind of rests in there. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get our analog sticks. These ones have protectors over them. I'm actually going to take them off just so it's easier to put the case over the front, but literally these like $1 protectors, £1, you can get them off eBay. I think I got a load of them for £1. So there you go, these are the analog sticks from a PlayStation 2 controller. They're not exactly in the best condition, but they're the best ones I had, and these will work fine on a PlayStation 3 controller. So when putting your analog sticks in, just kind of line them up with the obviously the kind of like piece of plastic, and you literally just clip them on. So there you go, that's one on, and it's hard to do on camera, but there you go, that's two on, and you can kind of like move them around, just check they click, and everything should be okay. So I think now I can probably put this whole kind of like motherboard section into the case. Obviously just make sure the bits of plastic are like you know, hanging over the edge, just like that. Then we're just going to grab the entire case, and we're literally just going to put it in. Now it might not go exactly perfect first try, but you've kind of just got to layer it in just like this. So just now I pushed it in and I didn't get it perfect because these bits are now overlapping the motherboard and they're both on the plastic clips. So this is probably one of the hardest things when putting one of these controllers back together, and everything can start to go wrong if you don't get this right. So let me just flip them back over and I'll try again. Okay, so this time I actually managed to get it, and I think what I can do now is add in my 3D printed L1 and R1 buttons. As you can see, they're white, and these were created off a 3D printer, and these literally just slot in here. Now obviously put them around the right way. They're going to have a number 1 on it, so you want to put them where the number 1 is, and you can just test all your buttons, make sure they press in okay, and then once these are plugged in, I think we can finally add the bits of plastic which just kind of overlap them just like that. Okay guys, so once you've got the L1 and R1's button right, you've got the L2 and R1's buttons right, and you've also added in these two bits of plastic, and you've also put in the motherboard screw. Make sure you do this as soon as you add those. I put mine in off camera. I was trying to film, but unfortunately the camera wasn't running, and I was kind of just holding everything, so I didn't really want to let go and knock everything out. It does take quite a while, and you've got to be pretty careful kind of getting all these buttons in, but it's looking good so far. So I think the next thing is to add in the battery. Now the battery should just sit in this plastic tray. It just goes this way around, and very simply it will just plug into the motherboard like that. Literally just rests on there, and then of course the battery will plug into the motherboard with this tiny like socket here. You can literally just plug that in. If it comes off when you're trying to plug it in, don't worry. So I'm just going to flip my battery around, and hopefully that should sit in there. And I think that's going to sit in there okay. Of course, when I put the case on, it will just hold it in, you know, just like hold it down, so that'd be okay. And I think that is probably everything. The next part is to clip the case on. Now this shouldn't be too difficult, but what you want to do is just kind of line the case up, and we're just going to clip it down. And it should make a few clicking noises and one big click noise, and it should actually be okay. Now of course it might still be a bit clicky. That's because we've got to put all of the screws in. So here are my screws. I'm just going to put these in right now, and I'll show you guys what this controller looks like when I've done putting all 5 back in. So here we are guys, custom PS3 controller, completely finished, made with scrap parts. So obviously we've got the PS2 analog sticks, we've got the PS2 D-pad, and we've got the normal PS3 home button, and yes, the controller does still work, I didn't actually break it. We've got the select and start. We also have the metal buttons up here. They do rattle a bit, but I guess they're okay. Left and right working perfectly fine, and of course our analog buttons working perfectly fine as well. So yeah, fully custom. What is this? It's not a DualShock 3, it's just a 6-axis controller, but there you go, made from scrap parts and ready to be used on my PlayStation 3 or PS TV. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.